Hello, everybody, and welcome to a live stream where I finally talk about the excellent yet underrated Marvel characters. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but I'm going to go through the ones that I really have grown to like over the years, that I really have come to earn my respect over the years as me become growing and becoming developing as a Marvel fan, especially of the comics. I'm going to start out with probably the most not so well known Avenger, and that is Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, the being of ionic energy who was going to have his own Disney Plus series starring Yahya Abdul Mateen, the actor that played Black Manta in the Aquaman movies, and I thought he did a great job as that character. Anyway, I thought, I really like Wonder Man. I really like his backstory. I really like his power set. I like how he's had a tremendous impact in the evolution and in the revolution and evolution of the Avengers history. Um, he's a really good character. I like the fact that he'd rather be more of a pacifist than a fighter. I like the fact that he's also a really good actor and he's very intelligent. So yeah, there's that. I may do a separate video on him in the future. I'm gonna have to think about that. But the next guy I'm going to talk about is Hyperion, more specifically Earth 13034 Hyperion, the iteration of Hyperion that was created during Jonathan Hickman's run on the Avengers back in 2013. Jonathan Hickman, his I'd say his iteration of Hyperion is probably the most popular among Marvel fans, Marvel Comics fans. Not that Earth 712 was terrible, or not that King Hyperion was terrible, but I think the Earth's 13034 Hyperion, the Hyperion from Jonathan Hickman's run, proved to be the more popular, proved to be the better, more favorable version among Marvel fans. Anyway, among comic readers, excuse me. Um, Hold on one second. I'm sorry, everybody. Um, anyway, I'm sorry, everybody. Um, um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, another underrated Marvel character is the guy that I have on the screen right here, and that is Adam Bernard Bouchier, aka the Blue Marvel. He needs to appear physically in the MCU. Like, I've heard that there have been mentions that he does exist in the MCU, but he needs to show up physically in the MCU, and I really have grown to like this character. I find his origin and backstory really interesting and compelling. I find his power set to be cool. I find his costume to be really cool. If there's one actor I think that could portray him, it's Denzel Washington. It's Yeah. I really like Blue Marvel. I think he definitely needs to appear in the MCU, and I would love to see Denzel Washington portray him. The next character on the list, even though it has been shown that he does exist in the MCU, I still think people don't know much about him. But I always call him good old Horseface, and I don't mean that to insult him, the character, and that is Beta Ray Bill, the character that was co-created by Walter Simonson back during the 1980s, and this dude is just as powerful as base Thor. That means regular Thor without the power enhancements, without being enhanced by the all power of the All Father, aka the Odin Force / Thor Force. He's just as powerful as base Thor, and he's a really cool character. He's real badass. He's one of the few heroes proven worthy to lift Mjolnir, other than Thor and Captain America, Steve Rogers. He's a really cool character. He's a really cool character. Next up on the list is hmm, trying to think who else is an underrated character, Marvel character that not many people know about. I said Wonder Man, Blue Marvel, the Earth 13034 Hyperion. Um, trying to think. Shit. Brother Voodoo. He's another underrated character. Um, Beta Ray Bill. I forgot him. Beta Ray Bill. Um, Marvel's Hercules. I think is somewhat of an underrated character. I mean, obviously most people know about Disney's Hercules, but not many people know about the Marvel version of Hercules. I think Marvel's Hercules is a great character, one of the better, if not one of the best representations of the legendary and iconic figure from Greek and Roman mythology. I think he's a really cool character, and I love her. I love Marvel's Hercules immensely. Next up on the list is trying to think who else is an underrated character. Songbird. Songbird, formerly known as the villain known as Screaming Mimi. I know that name sounds silly, but she's a really cool character. She can project sonic-based energy, sound-based energy projections, as well as constructs. She's a really good character. I really do like her. I didn't know she existed until I saw her in a playthrough of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 back in 2009. But yeah, she's a really cool character in my opinion. Hmm. Who else is an underrated character from Marvel? Um, it's all I can think of at this moment. Sorry, I couldn't think of. Oh wow, two people are watching. Never mind. Um, but so all I can really think of at this moment, everybody. Send me the link, okay? Oh, it's Ricky Neo. Oh, Thunderstrike. I just thought of his name. Thunderstrike. Like him. Granted, he's not as powerful as Thor, but I thought he was a pretty decent character. I didn't think he was as bad as what a lot of people thought about him to be. Um, I okay, Dano. Thank you very much. I'm trying to think who else is an underrated character. Tigra. She's not that bad. I know she got a lot of flack for how she looked in Avengers United They Stand, but that wasn't a very good cartoon in my opinion. Trying to think who else has been underrated from Marvel. Oh, Black Bolt. How can I forget Blackagar Boltagon? Um, uh, Black Bolt's very good. I like him a lot. I like the fact, even though he can't really talk because of how powerful his quasi sonic scream is. Um, I like the fact that he's the type of guy that he lets his actions do all the talking, quote unquote. But he's a really dope, badass character. I've always liked the Inhumans. I think the Inhumans are among Jack Kirby's greatest creations. I love Black Bolt. He's my favorite. I know some people like Karnak, which is cool. I like Karnak too. But I prefer Black Bolt because he's a guy you got to watch out for. So you watch X-Men Apocalypse? I'm glad you enjoyed it, Dano, but to me, I thought it was kind of underwhelming for the most part. I thought they could have done Apocalypse better. I'm glad you loved Penguin, though. I'm glad you watched episode 1 of Penguin. Heard that shit was amazing. Trying to think who the fuck else. Trying to think who. Yes, they're bringing back Charlie Cox. I don't think they've ever parted ways. They're bringing back Charlie Cox, and yes, that is awesome. I'll send him the link. I'm a dumbass.
What?
Oh, there's Ricky. Never mind. Hey, Ricky, how you feeling, man?
Hey, how you doing, Charles?
Good, Ricky. Well, just want to say my condolences to you and your family. I'm so sorry.
Hold on a second. Sorry, I forgot to mute my YouTube stream. At any rate, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm doing okay. Just trying to kind of hang in there.
No problem, man. No problem, man.
I'm glad you were kind of touching on some of the Inhumans characters, because that's exactly where I was going to go myself.
And I even mentioned Thunderstrike.
Yeah. Lockjaw I mean, I know he's
love
a dog.
Lockjaw. He's so adorable.
Yeah, he's still a character. And Triton was always a character that I really liked. I absolutely hated the way they made him look when they did the Inhumans TV show.
Yeah, I heard that shit was garbage.
Oh God, it was so bad, and that sucks because those are some of my favorite characters.
I've always liked the Inhumans.
Dude, I remember, like, as a little kid, my oldest brother, he had a comic collection that, like, no lie, like one entire room at his house was all bookshelves, all filled with comics. And I would go over there and just dig in. But there was one comic that I used to read all the time as a kid, and it was like Johnny Storm, and he ends up like in this cave. It's like some kind of Arctic location, and anyways, he like finds like the portal to go to where like the Inhumans are, and you know, like him and Crystal, I guess that's when they kind of become a couple.
Crystal, the elemental Inhuman. Yes, I like her too.
Yes, and so, but it was kind of like that whole thing, and I used to read that one all the time, which yeah, Triton, like the way that he looked in the comics, where he had that, you know, that kind of fin on his head. And like when they did the TV show, it was just like a guy with some really bad green makeup that kind of made him look jaundiced. And he just had this kind of lump on his head. Like it wasn't like a fin. And it was just so bad. And I was so disappointed. But I would love to see like a comic accurate MCU version of that character, which I just heard recently that Black Bolt will be coming back for Secret Wars, and I'd like to hopefully see some of the other characters brought into that. But I know it's going to be tough.
And I would too.
I know it's going to be tough, and like, you know, already because of what Secret Wars is, I have this vision in my head of how it's going to look. But I've got to kind of pump the brakes and bring myself back down to reality, because you can't have every character. And I say that because just recently I was listening to Ryan Reynolds speaking, and I guess there was a scene where that they actually filmed with Ben Affleck as Daredevil that was going to be in the Deadpool movie. They ended up not using. And he said basically that, you know, they wanted even more cameos for that movie, but it just basically comes down to budget. Like you can't, unfortunately, pay everybody.
That is true. That is very, very true.
What are
your shirt, by the way? Very John Romita Sr.-ish.
Thank you. Appreciate that. What are your thoughts on Sony deciding to scrap their Spider-Man universe, and now they want to kind of take their Venom universe and melt it in with the MCU?
Well, I heard Tom Holland signed a new deal to do 4, 5, and 6 of his movies.
Yeah, it's for a new trilogy of Spider-Man movies. the 2 Avengers movies, and then 2 other movies, plus the Daredevil series, which I'm really stoked about. Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. Just because for once we have an actual like teenager playing a teenager, not like a 30-year-old playing a teenager. Like the other thing that I like about him is like if you ever
He's
watched
very charismatic.
very charismatic, but the thing that I was going to mention, if it's in like the behind the scenes stuff for it was on the Far From Home disc. If you watch the behind the scenes where they're talking to some of the people, he's so athletic and doing some of his own stunts, and the way that comes across on camera, I think is a really understated thing, you know, as far as his performance. Like the fact that he can do a lot of his own stunts and is so athletic just really brings a lot more to the character. I mean, granted, you know, special effects have come a long way, which, you know, if you go back and look at like the original Spider-Mans, which I love, don't get me wrong, but like Tobey Maguire, when he's swinging, like you can tell he's literally just swinging on a wire and it kind of looks like it. Whereas now with the special effects, I mean, what's the line from the song? Does whatever a spider does.
Yeah.
is
Jose,
kind of
was
the way
that-
Tom.
Well, Tom Holland, he's about a couple of years younger than me. He's like 27, 28 years old. And he's playing a kid that's now in college.
Yeah. So
And
so
he's probably the best Spider-Man that I've really enjoyed on the big screen since Tobey's. I didn't hate Andrews. I didn't hate Andrew. I thought he was given a bad hand when Sony tried to reboot the Spider-Man franchise originally with the Amazing Spider-Man. I was just like, they did not give him the best material to work with. I'm not saying it was
they didn't, and I mean, recently, I mean, I've been thinking about it more and more, but if you don't have good writing, if you don't have a good script, you just can't have a good movie. And you can take a good actor and give him a bad script and it turns out badly. What I didn't like is, like, you know, Spider-Man is usually a little bit of a smart ass. He kind of cracks some jokes and stuff. But the way they did it with Andrew Garfield's character, he didn't come across as a smart ass. He just came across as kind of a dick.
That's why I love Tobey's. Like, even though he didn't quip as much, when he quipped, they didn't feel forced. He didn't come off like an asshole.
Yeah, and I mean, Andrew Garfield is still the same guy. He's still the same actor. But if you look at him in those old movies compared to No Way Home was so much better. And
that's why I thought he was
redeemed.
redeemed. Like, if there was one of 3 Spider-Man that was totally redeemed, it was Andrew. I thought Andrew did a great job. I thought Andrew was given better material to work with. And I just loved his reaction when he saw Tobey spin webs organically. He goes, how the hell can you do that? Because you can't do that, can you?
Yeah, dude, there were a lot of really great lines in that movie. That being one of them.
But I was thinking of another underrated Marvel character that I really do like, but I'm trying to think of it. Hulkling. The openly gay character that's married to Wiccan. That's when I first read the Young Avengers comics, when I saw that character, like, is that the Hulk's son? Like, but when you read about him in the comic books, he's not a Hulk at all. He's a Kree-Skrull hybrid that was the son of Marvel's original Captain Marvel, Marvel, and a Skrull princess. He's half Kree, half Skrull. So I think he took the form of the Hulk because he really liked the Hulk growing up as a kid, and he's one of Marvel's most openly gay characters, and I don't mind that.
Yeah, I would probably be remiss right here if I didn't mention my guy Ted, Man-Thing.
Man-Thing. I like Man-Thing. Yes.
Which spoiler, his name is Ted. Like you haven't seen that show yet, but in Werewolf by Night, like he tells
he makes an appearance in it, correct? As Man-Thing.
Yeah. He tells the girl, like, when you see him, just talk to him like you're talking to an old friend. Just call him by his name. And she's like, the monster has a name? well, what's his name? And he's like, his name is Ted. And so, but yeah, oh God, yeah, dude, like, honestly, I think that was my favorite part of Werewolf by Night was Man-Thing and his role in it. He was so
I'm gonna,
friggin' awesome looking.
another character that I think is underrated. Unfortunately, she may get ruined in the Sony movie, in the Sonyverse. Silver Sable.
Yeah. I'm curious to see. I know that they were saying that they wanted to do some different X-Men characters too, as opposed to the ones that, we've already had. And I don't mean like Taylor Swift playing Dazzler. I mean,
Oh God.
I know. I cringe every time I think about that. But I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, because there's always casting rumors. But Alexandra Daddario as Rogue would be awesome. I
I
actually
like
wanted
Alexandria Daddario. She's a very good actress.
yeah, I wanted her to be Sue Storm, honestly, and I'm still not happy about the kid that they cast as Johnny Storm.
Well, Vanessa Kirby, I think, might do a good job as Sue. Pedro Pascal, I think, will do a great job as Reed. I think he's going to be given better material to work with than the crap he was forced to work with in Wonder Woman 1984. What you looking up?
Oh, a friend of mine was just telling me that he's about to leave his house and he'll be here pretty soon. So
Okay, no problem.
he's just stopping by to drop off a few things for us, which is nice of him.
No problem.
Poor guy. He's a Carolina Panthers fan, so boy does he have it bad right now.
Well, they just destroyed the Raiders, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable.
No, I don't either.
They're probably the worst organization in all of sports right now.
Actually, believe it or not, I think most of the Marvel movies that I've seen in recent history, he was there with me. We saw Endgame together at the theater. We saw Infinity War together. We saw Black Panther together.
Black Panther 2. I liked Black Panther 2. I thought it was a tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
I like it okay. I did not like the Midnight Angels thing with that. It felt
What do you
just
mean
like
Midnight
kind
Angels?
of Okoye and the guard when they got their suits at the end for that final battle.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a cheap excuse to throw some other characters in suits and
I thought Namor was good in that movie.
No, I was about to say Namor was awesome in that movie. I really liked him.
Huerta, I think his name is, did a great job as that character. And
yes,
I like the fact that we're not afraid to showcase how powerful Namor is, because Namor, I know he gets a lot of flack because of his personality, but he's a very powerful character. He was basically Aquaman before Aquaman.
Yes.
He came out 2 years before Aquaman. Aquaman came out in 1941. Namor came out in 1939.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, dude, even like one of my favorite scenes is where he like comes floating downward into that big throne that's like the big shark's jaw. What a great image that was.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, I completely agree. Namor was Aquaman before there was Aquaman, and yeah, talk about a underrated character. There's one right there. Namor is a great example.
Well, I think he doesn't get a lot of respect because of his douchebag, because of his personality. He comes off as very obnoxious, pompous, rude. He's basically, if you look at Aquaman in the comics, Aquaman is like the polar opposite of Namor. He's more humble, he's more grounded, he's more noble, he's more
Yeah,
heroic.
The thing with Namor is like kind of it's how do I say this? I'm looking.
He
for
grew
the
to distrust
proper
surface dwellers, where Aquaman grew to love them.
right, but what I'm saying is like like for a football reference, what they always say, the Jets defense is bend don't break. Well, Namor is like don't bend. Like he's very set in his beliefs. He's very committed to his beliefs, and he just doesn't vary. Like you said, he grew to hate the surface world, and no one's going to change his opinion. Like,
Well, he does like
just
Captain
is what he
America,
is.
Steve Rogers. He does have a crush on Sue Storm, and he
Yeah,
does like Anna Bernard Brashida Blue Marvel. I still think he has a pretty decent friendship with Doctor Strange in the comic books. But what I'm
yeah,
saying is that outside of those few people, he doesn't really give two shits about the surface world.
no, and well, him and Doctor Strange weren't they in an iteration of Midnight Suns together, or am I wrong about that?
I think you mean they were part of the original Defenders.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
The original Defenders consisted of Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Namor, and Silver Surfer. Now, if you think of that, that's a pretty powerful ass lineup.
Hell yeah. I think I've been looking at too much Marvel content online. I'm starting to get all my teams confused now.
That's okay,
That's
dude.
it's not a bad thing that they're coming out with so much.
What'd you think
By
of
the
the
way,
Thunderbolts trailer?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. What do you think of that new Thunderbolts trailer? I like it.
It looks interesting. I'm definitely going to check it out, but my question is, how are they going to portray the Sentry?
I don't know, because all we've seen so far is just him in his human form where he comes out and says, I'm Bob. And that's really all you got.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. How are they going to portray him? Because he's probably one of the least, if not the least popular prestige / copycat of Superman, and one of the least popular characters in all of Marvel Comics.
Yeah. Most powerful, but least popular. I agree.
I'd say he's one of the most powerful Marvel characters, and he's one of the least popular too.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
At least they didn't get the guy from Invincible to portray him, because he dropped out of the role. He said, if I play Robert Reynolds, it's going to piss off a lot of people.
Right. Well, originally, before they were going to have Stephen Yeun in that role, and he quit.
They were trying to get Ryan Gosling.
Right. Which is he's going to end up being, he's going to play Nova, right?
Richard Rider Nova or Sam Alexander?
Richard Rider.
That's another underrated character I was going to talk about. We saw the Nova Corps in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but we didn't see Richard Rider. He's the most famous and the most iconic of the Nova Corps.
Which I could swear a while back that I saw a video that said that Ryan Gosling had signed on to play Nova, and it was going to be the Richard Rider character. But since then, I haven't heard any more about it. So I don't know if that's
Ryan Gosling. I heard say he might play Ghost Rider too.
You know what? I really, really, really wanted Norman Reedus to play Ghost Rider, but now that he signed on, he's the Null character in the new Venom movie. So now he's already in the
Wait. Say what now?
Norman Reedus. I wanted to play Ghost Rider.
Norman Reedus.
from
He's
The
gonna
Walking
play
Dead.
fucking Null.
Yeah, he is Null.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
I was gonna actually talk about that with Purple Bell Mike.
Yeah, if I've got the video somewhere from when they announced that. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll shoot you a DM with the link.
Doesn't say it on Wikipedia just yet. Hold on.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Right now. Da, 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 da. Okay, yeah, here we go. And okay, shush, stupid thing. I don't need your sound. I just need the link. Copy. And let me see. Okay, Charles Gorman.
Oh, he addresses Nolan Venom, The Last Dance. Oh, it was cast on. I remember. Okay. This is from Screen Rant, right?
I believe so.
That's crazy.
Okay, yeah, I just sent you. Okay, this one is from Comic Book Cast, but I just sent you the link to the video on Discord just now.
I'll look at it when I get the chance. Holy shit, that is a bold ass casting choice. I know a lot of people.
I like it. I like it too.
I'm not saying it's a bad casting choice at all. I think it's a bold casting choice, if I don't say so myself. Richard Rider. Who's gonna play him in the movie? That's what I think. They should make a Nova movie. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you. I think they should.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, I think Nova is going to be a TV show, like not like a show, like a series, but like
It's gonna be on Disney Plus.
Yes,
it's gonna be a special presentation.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
Wow, he was in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite as Benjamin Diskin.
Norman Reedus?
No,
or Ryan Gosling?
Richard Rider Nova.
Oh,
the video game.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at his video game appearing on the media. Wow, holy shit, dude. He was a playable character in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, voiced by Troy Baker. I'm trying to think. But no, I never heard anything about Ryan Gosling playing. But I'll tell you what, do you know who I think Ryan Gosling could play? This may sound weird, but I think he could pull it off. Ben Reilly.
You know what? That wouldn't be a bad choice. I could see that.
If I'm not saying they
I could see
should,
that.
if the MCU was going to pull off that convoluted story arc, well, the 70s story arcs were fantastic, but the 90s was convoluted and weird as hell, and that's the Clone Saga. If they were going to go that route, I can definitely see Ryan Gosling as Ben Reilly.
I could see that. I could see that. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, every so often I see, something floated out there that I'm like, immediately, I'm like, hell no. Tom Cruise as a evil Tony Stark variant. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, absolutely not. Will Smith being recast as the new T'Challa. I was like, hell no, as soon as I saw it.
That would have
But
been
no.
stupid.
Oh God. Yeah. I'm like, please
I
don't
love
do
Will
that.
Smith, but no, him as T'Challa, no.
No. I mean, yeah, if they wanted to find a character for him, they could, but not that one. Not that one. Chadwick Boseman was so good. He just did a phenomenal job with that character.
Oh, that was one of the best performances of his career.
Absolutely. As much as I hate to admit it, like, dude, I was a really big fan of Jonathan Majors as Kang. I thought he did a great job. I think the
That's
Marvel
not a
jumped
bad
the
thing
gun.
to say. I liked him. I thought he did a good job portraying that character. It's just that how he launched to a swarm of ants was stupid.
Yeah. That, I mean, they did carry him away, but he came back after that. Like, the ants didn't defeat him, but yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, it seems like he could have just moved time back a little bit to make the ants further away. And like, I mean, I don't know. That was probably my least favorite part, is when the ants carried him away. But
For Jonathan Majors, I thought delivered on his personality, his character, his attitude, his motivations, everything. I thought he was done. I thought he played that character very well.
well, dude, like, they did so much buildup with that character only to scrap it, and
Because of those domestic abuse allegations.
yeah, and I mean, dude, when you watch the video, all he does is pull away from the girl and try to run away from her and remove himself from the situation. And then whoever was on that jury decided that he pulled away from her too roughly and could have caused injury, and that's how they like the whole thing was. It was a witch hunt, man. It's like they were out to get him right from the beginning, and they were going to charge him with something. And it's just too bad. It's just too bad, because they built that character up so much. And
I
mean,
know, man. I was looking forward to being the next main villain, but now they're going with Doom.
Dude, just the thought of that, a character that can not only be anywhere in any universe, but at any point in time, and there are countless versions of him, and he's got like more advanced technology and weapons than anyone. Like, dude, that's just so much to wrap your mind around. Like, you hear that and you're thinking, how could anybody possibly defeat somebody like that? And they did such a good job of really getting that point across. When Loki runs up to Mobius and he says there are countless versions of a very dangerous person, and they're all set on war. And it's like, like, the concept was so big and the implications so massive. And like, I mean, honestly, like, I was like on the edge of my seat that, Loki season 1 and season 2, like, as it just kept going, I was so into it. And it's really disappointing that we're not going to be able to see that, go the distance. And I'm wondering, I hope that they have at least some sort of decent battle between Kang and Doom. Like I hope it isn't just like, you know, Doom pushes a button and says like, okay, now there are no more Kangs. Like I hope they don't just dismiss him right away like that.
They might,
you know,
but we'll see. Anyways, it was good talking. I'm not trying to cut you off or anything, but I'm going to end the live stream. It's good talking with
No.
you, Ricky.
No, that's okay. It was great talking to you too, Charles. I really enjoy coming on here and talking comics with you and talking MCU with you. I gather by your comments that you haven't seen Penguin yet. Dude,
I
you
heard
gotta see
episode 1 was amazing.
it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Probably the best first episode of a show that I've seen in a very long time. I absolutely
Fennell's a
love
great
it.
actor. I mean,
Dude, I can't wait for Sunday night to get here to watch the next one. It's really, really good. It's got me hooked. At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and dip out of here. Thank you so much again for having me. I truly appreciate it. And
you're more than welcome to come on anytime you want, Ricky.
shoot me a message in Discord and let me know what size shirt you wear, because I'm going to send you something for your birthday.
Oh, Ricky, thank you, man.
Not a problem, buddy.
Have a good day, man.
All right, man. Have a great night, Charles.
You too. Have a good day, everybody.